Peering at any video game's concept art isn't far off from taking a peek into Pandora's box, especially when it comes to monster design. After all, these creatures are often meant to evoke fear in the player, with many haunting our nightmares and inspiring us to bleach our eyes for years to come. Nothing boggles the mind more though than when those pesky developers weave both horrific and sexual themes together, leaving us asking ourselves, am I supposed to be scared, aroused, or both? It will not have escaped your notice if you have been on the internet in the past few months that the latest addition to this world of sexy horror is Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, but she was by no means the first to rock the sexy, scary look. So let's take a look at what ungodly sights have been summoned when video game designers decide to combine the Necronomicon with the latest Victoria's Secret catalogue. I'm Peter from TripleJump, and here are 10 saucy video game monsters to rival Lady Dimitrescu. Number 10. The Feylin, Disgaea. What's a JRPG without a resident cat girl, eh? She may go by different names, such as Kit Kat or Nico Marta, but her purpose, both in combat and otherwise, stays very much the same. Her design features fluffy paws, a cute tail, and a massive, unmissable pair of cat ears. What? Where do you think I was going with that? This playful kitty is sure to convince any dog owner to give Fido the boot and instead adopt a naughty Nico Marta. Honestly, why else do you think we keep doing those charity streams for cat rescue and protection? This is a pro-Feylin household, goddammit. And yes, Disgaea is known for its exaggerated art style, but this one very much stands out. Alongside ugly minotaurs and goofy prinnies, this design is completely unabashed in its artistic direction. And before you ask, yes, a jiggle has indeed been lovingly included in her idol animation. Because of course it has. Now let's move on to the rest of the list and see if the writer can make me sound any more like an actual furry before we get to the end. Can't wait. Number 9. Mishiguji, Megami Tensei. Okay, so we eased you in with that first entry, but now brace yourselves, because, spoiler alert, here is only the first of 3 Megami Tensei entries today. We normally stick to 1 entry per franchise for lists like this, but when you see what else is to come, you will very much understand why we broke that rule. But back to entry number 9 for now. This is an angry Wilson on a stick based on the Shinto god of sexual intercourse, just in case you were confused by its not-so-subtle design. If you're eager to claim that we're seeing something that isn't really there though, let's briefly note that his unique skill is called Cursed Emission, and then quickly move on before we get demonetized. But hey, let's not reduce this dude merely to phallic imagery. Take a look at his face, if you can call it that. You'll glimpse a visibly conflicted expression. Why is he so wistful and melancholic? Maybe he daydreams of better times, back when he was worshipped as a deity, before he was deemed taboo. He muses, he ponders from atop his girthy perch. We can sense so much more behind that thoughtful visage. For those of you who like the philosophical artistic types, Mishiguji might be for you. You know, unless you see something else in him, like the rest of us do. Number 8. Red Goddess Agony. If you were to take a look at the roster of demons from 2018 dark fantasy/survival horror Agony, you'd probably assume the succubi take the crown for most amorous monster design. However, in this case, such a crown can only be worn by a literal queen, the Red Goddess. She's an empress, the ruler of hell, or the holy slut of the divine spark to you worthless mortals. No, really, the game actually calls her that. I wouldn't say it otherwise, and neither should you. In a hellish dimension occupied by literal sex demons, the Red Goddess reigns supreme. She's described as seductive, manipulative, conniving, lustful. Yes, the game itself may have received generally unfavourable reviews, but how could anyone swipe left on such a crimson pillar of elegance and raw power? Hell, countless psychological studies have shown that wearing red is a surefire way to get noticed and appear sexier. Well, this queen is quite frankly dripping in red, so good luck trying to keep your gaze away from her when she's nonchalantly sat at the bar. She's intense and sure to figuratively steal your heart, as well as, well, literally steal your heart, like still beating right out of your chest. It's alright, I'm into it. Number 7. The Virginia the Forest. Do you think that long, slender legs are seductive? Well, the Virginia has 6 of them, so feast your eyes, if you like. As the sun sets, casting a moody amber glow on your makeshift treehouse and spiked walls, you may catch a glimpse of one of these leggy ladies as she ambles over the smouldering horizon. Soon enough, you hear her come hither skittering tones over the dying cries of your comrades. Although her model-esque pins provide quite an iconic silhouette amongst the mutated cannibals of 2014's The Forest, she's also flaunting several mutilated arms and a faceless face. With no expression to decipher then, she's a woman of mystery, making it difficult for the player to decide whether to launch that Molotov or to actually offer her a real cocktail and bad pickup line. With a name that sounds dangerously close to a far more graphic term, the Virginia is glad to keep you company on those long, cold nights. With severed arms roasting on an open fire, the shrieks of cannibals echoing from your happy birthday traps, and the Virginia's horrifying tangle of legs all around you, you may find yourself wondering if you even want to be rescued from the island at all. Number 6. The Xenomorph, Alien Isolation. Swiss surrealist artist H.R. Giger, designer of the Xenomorph in the Alien franchise, was a true master of cybersexual horror. His designs combined both unnerving terror and uncomfortable connotations of sexuality that are practically unmatched in their ability to unsettle and haunt their audiences. The original Alien is unapologetically a nightmare combination of sex and death that has yet to be superseded by any of its subsequent iterations. And yet, when the tall, dark and handsome unfurls before us in Alien Isolation, we can't help but think, come here often. This glistening alpha hunter is undoubtedly athletic thanks to all that vent hopping and parkour, so they clearly take pride in keeping themselves fit and healthy. And by Jove, that extending mouth is sure to give you the most passionate French kiss in all the universe. But still, the Xenomorph is eager to settle down and start a family, and will implant you with their demon spawn the first chance they get. This romantic connection is sure to be out of this world and leave you feeling like your heart is going to burst out of your chest. Number 5. Tiamat, Megami Tensei. This Babylonian goddess appears in Shin Megami Tensei: Devil Summoner: Soul Hackers as a multi-breasted, tentacle-waving beast with a suspicious flower sigil emblazoned on her belly. Originally, in the religion of ancient Babylon, she was a goddess of the salt sea and a symbol of the chaos of primordial creation. So think Mother Earth with more ferocity. Being a force of chaos, as well as fertility, creation, and birthing, her portrayal in Soul Hackers combines motherly imagery with horrific snake-like tendrils. Other installments in the series gave her serious Medusa vibes, which once again juxtaposes the phallic symbol of a serpent with the feminine form. She embraces her destructive nature and overall power, resulting in a very intimidating and overwhelming stunning monster design. In one moment, she's acting all motherly, baking cookies and tucking you into bed, and the next, she's tearing off your head and slurping your brain out of your skull like it's bubble tea. Now, I know what you're thinking. Damn, what a woman, eh? Well, you better get down on your knees and start worshipping her like the goddess she is. She gets pretty angry if you don't. Number 4. Nurses, Silent Hill. As my couples therapist has suggested, a bit of saucy roleplay can really spice up a relationship. Granted, donning my Minecraft Steve costume and asking my partner if she wants to harvest my wood didn't exactly set a romantic mood, but if you ask me, there's just no pleasing some people. However, the naughty nurses of the Silent Hill series aren't your average kinky cosplayer. Although they keep their uniforms on in the bedroom, they represent eerie symbolism within the franchise. Specifically, the Silent Hill 2 nurses are manifestations of James Sunderland's sexual frustration, hence their overtly suggestive appearance, low-cut blouses, and mini-skirts. Throughout the series, their symbolism shifts somewhat to reflect the inner turmoil of the protagonist, but in general they do imply a disconcerting sense of sexual anxiety. Oh, and they will gladly batter you with steel pipes, wear bandages over their faces, and share the fun in a group setting. An evening with these gals ticks all sorts of boxes for the budding fetishist. Number 3. Chaos Witch Queelag? Am I saying that right? I don't know. Dark Souls. If you're a monster designer struggling for inspiration, you've got one of two options. Number 1, stick a topless woman on an arachnid, or number 2, do literally anything else. Of course, From Software always have a certain artistic intent when it comes to the Soulsborne games, so they went with option 1. The lore tells us that the Chaos Witch, daughter of the Witch of, here's another one, Izalith, I don't know, unfortunately succumbed to the chaotic flame and was consequently corrupted by it. However, all things considered, she still possesses her original good looks, if you can ignore those 8 spindly legs, of course. Alright, so I know this lady isn't for the arachnophobes among you, but for others, she's as hot as her fire-based attacks. As with any type of dark, witchy design, she maintains an alluring beauty as well as a metaphorical sting in the tail. She's got that exciting anglerfish vibe, half temptation, half danger. So if your thing is feisty gothic babes and spiders, head down to Blighttown and lay down the charm. Number 2. The Immoral Beast, Catherine. This weird puzzle game certainly has some, puzzling imagery, with the most notable surely being the giant raving buttocks boss battle. Yeah, you heard that right. As the embodiment of destructive, lustful temptations, this cheeky opponent delivers quite a memorable encounter. In fact, the beastly booty is markedly one of the most memorable battles in this quirky title, serving as a way of combining humorous horror and horrific humour. Her massive eyes ogle the player, drawing them in with her luxurious lashes, intense gaze, and don't even get me started on that tenacious tongue action. Seriously, this girl knows what she wants. She actively hunts down the player as they frantically scramble away, with her persistence proving fatal if Vincent makes a wrong move during his attempt to flee. But we have to ask, why run at all? I mean, come on, being enveloped by a giant peachy maw is not the worst way to go. No? I mean, it's definitely in my top 5. Right, guys? Guys? And number 1, Mara, Megami Tensei. Everybody loves a bad boy, and when it comes to Megami Tensei, who is the baddest boy of them all? Well, I'll tell you who. Or what? It's Mara, or to give him his honorary title from Persona 5, the throbbing king of desire. Ooh. This phallic demon that drifts around the otherworldly dungeons is based on the evil one of Buddhist ideology, wherein he acts as a creature of temptation. Representing unwholesome impulses, his presence in the Megami Tensei universe most certainly gives us forbidden fruit imagery, specifically a forbidden banana. or maybe the aubergine emoji. As we've seen in this list, this series of games and spin-off titles isn't exactly shy when it comes to saucy yet creepy monster designs, but this guy is the least reserved one of the bunch. He's the 6th persona in the Tower Arcana, obviously continuing with the phallic metaphors there, aren't we, Atlas? And is a ferocious missile of raging masculinity, complete with his own sweet ride and no F's given attitude. Mum and Dad will definitely not approve of the two of you going on a date when he pulls up outside of your house in his open-top speed wagon. But hey, safety first everyone, at least he's got a helmet on.